This is Expose UX, where startup founders seek help from user experience experts.
When I saw that first screen, it didn't jump out to me really until you started explaining it.
So it might be a little confusing as to what I can click on and what I can't.
For the sake of their users, these founders place their egos aside.
I don't think you've done your homework.
I'm completely confused.
Whether wireframes are fully launched, the experts help them advance their products. I'm your host, Richard Brevin. When I released my product, RivalSeek, over 30% of users were confused by it. I understood why, but didn't know how to fix it. That's when I turned to the experts, and now you can too. Let's meet them.
Cassini Nazir is a professor of design at the University of Texas at Dallas. Dr. Rebecca Baker is the Senior Director of User Interaction Design for Active Network. And Jeremy Johnson is the Vice President of Customer Experience for Project 202. Special thanks to the User Experience Professionals Association, Dallas Chapter. And also to Big Design Conference, September 8th through 10th, 2016 in Dallas, Texas. Filmed on location in the co-working space Fort Work in the Alto 211 building.
Welcome, Mark, to Expose UX. Could you provide us a little background on your company?
Sure. YouWorth is a mobile application that provides precise and continuous salary estimates based on a person's LinkedIn profile. We're basically doing what Zillow did for real estate, and that is assigning a value to not only individual skills, but also anyone in the professional marketplace or job marketplace that is paid based on a yearly salary or hourly rate.
Could you walk us through your product?
Sure. When you first launch the app, you're presented with a dashboard. It's no mistake that it resembles a stock market app. That was intentional. We're showing 4 ticker symbols by default. But essentially, to get the most out of the app, you're going to want to authenticate with LinkedIn. There's a call to action at the top of the dashboard. So as I tap through, I'm going to authenticate with LinkedIn. As a new user, I'm now, the app knows me, knows my LinkedIn profile. I'm going to tap through to log in to LinkedIn in order to get my data export. At this point in time, I'm going to request my archive. And so my export was requested, and here's the biggest UX challenge that I've faced, and that is...
Join us for Expose UX Live at Dallas Startup Week on April 14th. Watch an episode filmed in front of a live audience at the new co-working space for creatives, CoWork. Click to RSVP.
So my export was requested, and here's the biggest UX challenge that I've faced, and that is in May, LinkedIn cut off the API to developers like myself, and this was the only alternative was to go with their data export. So the user is going to have to now wait roughly 12 to 16 hours for that data archive to be generated. So from the app's perspective, we give them an estimate, we let them know when they requested it.
So I agree that is a tough one.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know the personality of the app yet, but having a more friendly version of this saying like, hey, we got your data, we're churning through it, we're doing our magic, we're going to ping you when it's ready, right? Would probably be one way to tackle it.
So once we fast forward to when it's ready, the app will actually send a push notification letting the user know that we estimate it's ready. They basically revisit that page. And
you keep talking about estimate it's ready, and then the other screen I saw it say when we think it's ready. Are you not receiving that data? Is it being emailed to the user?
It's being emailed directly to the user.
So you don't know when that happens?
No, and there's no way for us to know. It's more of it's a forecast. And what I've been doing this for more than a year now, and what I've judged is roughly 12 to 16 hours after it's requested. And so that's why we set a timer 16 hours later to...
So there's another step. You don't even know if they got the data or not.
They don't yet. So if we fast forward, as I just requested mine, basically 16, 20 hours, or 12 to 16 hours from now, I'll get a push notification. I go back into the app, and when I request that same page, rather than request, it'll be download, as it is now. So assuming that the user returns, taps on the download, from that point forward, it's automated that we take the export, upload it onto our server, and parse it. And when that happens, I'm going to have all my skills that come in from my profile, as I do now in the dashboard. Now, major feature set here is the fact that, again, not only it's individual skills, but it's maybe skills that I'm interested in learning. Could be, I could add any kind of Microsoft or Oracle. There are more than 1,000 skills that are being tracked in real time. But the biggest value is actually I'm my own ticker symbol. We ask the user share it.
Is that sharing purely for marketing, or why?
Yes.
Okay.
Forcing
the user to do something they don't want to do.
It's just kind of an exchange of the whole business model is actually subscription based. So rather than charge them up front, we're just asking for a share in exchange for that.
If the value's there, you'd want to share it anyways. Like if I saw that I was worth 107, I would be
sure.
like, I'm going to post that. That's cool.
Yeah.
And then I would be okay with you tagging, found out from this app, right? But forcing them beforehand, that's usually frowned upon.
Okay. Yeah. No. It's a fair statement. So once I do share, obviously I can take a look at my estimate. These are estimates that are always in real time.
So are you getting the skills from what people are endorsing you for? Where are those coming from within LinkedIn?
You actually list, the endorsements are not part of that.
Okay.
You just list your skills on LinkedIn, and that's what we're getting. So anything that's on your LinkedIn profile.
Is that continue to be live, or would I need to re-export that if I added more skills?
Some call business an art. At Collide Village, we think it's science. Grow your startup at the only data-driven accelerator that has adopted lean startup to its roots. Come learn more at collidevillage.com.
Is that continue to be live, or would I need to re-export that if I added more skills?
If you changed it, yes. The assumption there is that people aren't just adding things daily or removing them daily, but it's more like, several months go by, yeah, you might need to go through that whole export again. But just doing the initial gives us the data that we can now start to make estimates based on your skill set, your experience, your education, your location, everything.
So I'm looking to move to Silicon Valley, let's just say.
Mm-hmm.
How would this then adjust for my intended move, or to Chicago, or wherever it might be?
Currently, it wouldn't. So the location is about where you are right now, but certainly that's on the roadmap.
So it doesn't adjust. Just real quick, the geography is based on where I physically am, or where LinkedIn thinks I physically am?
Currently, it's where you are, like where the device is. So it is a rough estimate of location.
So if I'm looking at this on a plane trip, I heard about this, I'm looking at this on a plane trip from New York to LA, but I live in Dallas.
Yeah.
How would I?
That's an excellent point. That's probably a failure of the UI here, that I couldn't tap in my location.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of value here. And if you think about all the organizations doing salary surveys, right, if you've actually found an automated way to do some of that, I actually think it's very strong. I mean, the UI is clean, but the stock market thing is a little cutesy. I actually don't know, and especially I saw, because you had a very long list of skills, and I actually don't know what the average number of skills someone lists on LinkedIn. It's actually not a really good way to potentially see all those skills in such a long list. I mean, again, I think the value there is, again, seeing what you're worth, seeing what skills are hot or not. I'm just not sure that's the right way to go at it from a UI perspective.
Well, and along those same lines, you go back to the ticker display. I know, so you've got, this is increased 23.3%, this is down negative 16%. From a UX perspective, since when, compared to what? I don't know what my baseline is. I don't know anything about that. I don't really have, I don't have context here, once again. So yeah, I think there's potential here, but there's definitely some thinking on the workflows and on some of the display elements that you have.
Again, I think there's a lot of value here. Your splash screen to your UI was also very kind of different and jarring. We're a very dark kind of experience here, but the splash screen is a little different. So I think kind of determining what is your brand and what kind of tone are you trying to have. Again, you have this kind of fun stock ticker thing. I'm not sure if that's the right way to go or not, but if that's where you're going, maybe go all in on that and really kind of showcase that in your brand as well.
The biggest thing that I'm seeing here is you're really expecting the user to trust the information that's being displayed. Before I enter this dashboard page, I'd like a little bit more intro of how I'm getting that information, because the promise is huge, and I'm just not sure how you're delivering on that. So don't show me the magic necessarily, but give me reasons to trust this.
I think that you have some big hurdles that you're going to need to get over. The import thing is huge. It may be easier to have people enter things directly rather than relying on LinkedIn at all. There's questions about where the data came from and the validity of that and whether it's meaningful for me. And I'd also add, given our profession, soft skills and to see how that's being evaluated as well, just because I'm less familiar with the value of particular languages and such. So potential, but you got a lot of work to do.
Thank you for coming. We hope that the comments have been helpful.
They have. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.